Good morning, everybody. Me and Matthew would like to welcome you back to Once Upon a Tiny Farm. Today's Thursday morning, and we're doing a little walk around the farm. We just fed the chickens, and tomorrow is our Friday market, and we're walking around the farm, seeing what we have to harvest for tomorrow's market. And so far, not looking super encouraging. We're kind of in between a lot of crops and different things, and I think this week is going to be the first time that we don't have carrots since early June. We've had them every week. It was my goal to have carrots every week at the market, but we had some issues with weeds over on our main farm plot. I'll take you over there in a minute. Oh, buddy. But now I'm just walking around the farm seeing what we will have in the weeks to come. I'm trying to make it to November. I'm hoping I will be able to. I think I have enough salad mix in the ground. I'm hoping that my carrots that I do have in the ground that haven't been overtaken by weeds will grow enough that I'll be able to sell quite a few bit bunches. And I also have potatoes in the ground that I'm planning to harvest maybe starting next week. So here, right behind me, I have some broccolis that are just starting to come up. Where are you? Yeah, some of them already look really nice. This wasn't ever really part of my farm plan, but this is something I threw in August to try and have something else, some little more variety. This was a salad mix row. This one's done. This row's done. I'm gonna get one more cut from this row, and then that'll be done. I have beet greens here that have kind of been overtaken by weeds. This one's almost kind of done. And I have more broccoli here. I've experimented. I have two different kinds of sprouting broccolis. One is called Calabrese, I want to say. And the other one I got from Johnny's. It's called like BC and then like a 4-digit number. And that one is a very small broccoli that takes a very short amount of time to grow. Let's see, I can tell the difference because they have skinnier stems on their outgrowth, but this one didn't start to sprout up yet. But I will have that in the weeks to come. I really wanted to have more carrots, but nothing I could do about that. I got a little slow with taking care of the weeds, and they don't compete well when there are weeds growing. Oh, one more thing I wanted to show. I had planted a late planting of sunflowers, and I planted some of them really close together. So look here, I've got a whole bunch of baby looking sunflowers. I think they're adorable. I think they kind of look like dahlias or something like that. So I'm gonna try to make 1 or 2 bouquets of just sunflowers. Some of the small ones mixed with some of the larger ones. And yeah, see how that does. I still have some that I harvested last week that I brought to market, didn't sell. Look how beautiful they still look. So that just goes to show these are good sunflowers that will last a long time in a vase. So here are 2 of my carrot rows. These ones are at least halfway decent, but you can see there's a lot of weeds in here. But these should hopefully grow enough for me to be able to harvest. Over here, I have weeds that overtook the row. Over here, weeds overtook this row of carrots. And I think the carrots just aren't gonna grow. And there's more carrot rows here they all got seeded. They're all overtaken by weeds, and I don't know what to do now. Here's another look at how bad these are all carrot rows that just the weeds and grasses have outgrown all the carrots. And when that happens, the carrots have too much competition for space to grow into the size carrots that you want them to be. So this is very disappointing. This was a lot of seed that I'm probably going to end up being wasted, and I'm not really going to be able to harvest anything out of these rows. So that's very disappointing, and that might limit how long we are going to remain at the market this season. And next year I've already decided that whatever these weeds are, just the seeds, they go to seed real quick and spread so easy that this part of the farm is going to be tarped and grown. Everything's going to be grown under landscape fabric, just to make my life easier on this side of the farm. And here I don't have much weed pressure right now because I have everything growing under the fabric. I'm going to add some wood chips to the walkways where I have grass and things growing in the walkway, but I might do more carrots back here because this has already been killing off all the weeds, all the landscape fabric. Here is, I'm hoping will be next week's succession of my salad mix. This is a really cool mix that I actually made myself. It's a mixture of Johnny's All-Star Mix, a mixture of red Russian kale, a mixture of arugula, and mustard greens, that scarlet frills I think it's called, and it should be a really colorful mix. I think it just needs another week to get a little bit taller, and I'll harvest this with my greens harvester, and that'll be a really nice cut for the market. Other things I've got growing are head lettuces. I've got a mixture of the mirror here and some of mini green and red romaines. What else do I have back here? I've got some more romaines growing here. This middle row here, I did an experiment with potatoes and sunflowers. Probably won't do sunflowers again because they're kind of shading the row next to them, and I should have known that that would happen. So there's another row of salad mix growing here, that same loose leaf lettuce mix, but they're a lot smaller. So here I have some more Salanova that I cut for this week, and here I'm really excited for here are Salanova butter head lettuces. They're looking really nice. Might be a week or two away from really sizing up to their finished stages. Here is my best looking row of carrots. This is almost a 50-foot row. The issue is I think I forgot to broad fork this bed before I planted, and this is a first year bed that it's not very deep. It hasn't been established very long. So the issue is I have lots of carrots that have germinated here, but I don't think the soil is developed enough where the roots will be able to grow down into a really nice sized carrot. So these might be a lot of short stubby carrots, but luckily I did plant this because I had the row available and I knew I needed to plant carrots because the rest of them, as you saw, are just looking terrible. So I might get some that look like those Parisian market carrots. Maybe some of them will grow into the clay subsoil a little bit, but at least this one didn't have weeds take over it. And this one I really came over with my propane torch once before seeding, and then about 4 or 5 days after I seeded the carrots, when some of the weeds did come up, I torched it really well again, and then the carrots came up with perfect germination. So that's going to be what I do next year. It's going to be what I have to do. Matthew, do you have a problem? Maddie? Maddie, do you have a problem? What's the problem? What's the problem? Trying to do a walk and talk on the farm. Okay? Hang on, man. Yeah. One thing that we do have going for us this week is lots of radishes. And here I could show you a good view of the back of our farm. This is the end of our plot, and You can see this is where I added 50-foot rows. I think I have 12 of them across this back area here. And I've been trying to plant radishes back here because I have wooded edge there, and I was trying in early August to mid-August to late August. I did a couple succession plantings of radishes. A couple of them bolted. The ones that did work were the ones I planted back here. I think this was the 3rd week of August, and these were a perfect germination of radishes. And then everything after the 3rd week of August did well. Here I have another succession of carrots too. So yeah, thing I'm gonna do next year is make everything uniform, like how these are 50-foot rows. I'm gonna make all my 25-foot rows joined together at the front, so I'll have 50-foot rows up front to make everything look a little bit nicer. There'll be less walkways, and it'll just be more uniform and tight of a farm. You don't think so? You don't think that's a good idea? You think that's a good idea? What are you complaining about? At the end of each of these rows back here, I planted comfrey. That's what this is. I was gonna do another video on comfrey because there's a couple ways that I could use that. I'll talk about that in that video. But one thing that's really good about comfrey is it attracts beneficial insects. They really like these flowers. Very pretty. The bees like it. And another thing that they're good for is they put deep taproot down into the ground and bring up all those nutrients up to the soil. So I'll talk about comfrey in another video. I randomly planted a cherry tree back here that I'm going to end up moving, I think, to the front of the farm. I don't know why I put it back here, but yeah, it doesn't belong here, but it puts off really pretty flowers. And I actually got a couple cherries on there that the birds got too before I did. So it's only our 2nd year that we had that. Very impressed with that. But yeah, here's our farm. We've got some things still growing, and I'm hoping that we'll be able to go through October, at least later than I did last year, because last year I think it was the 2nd week of October that we stopped at the market. But this year I want to go to November and do a little bit better than I did last year. So hopefully this guy will let me work enough tonight to get some more work done. I'm not totally happy with what we're bringing to market, but I'm just happy that we're showing up. And I'm already working on plans for next year. And I have the book, The Market Gardener by Jean-Martin Fortier. And I was just looking at it again because I'm getting frustrated with myself here that I didn't plan a little bit better. And I think I just got tired towards the end, and that's why some of those beds got so weedy, and I haven't been taking care of things as much because my body's just tired. But I could have done a better job prepping and preparing my garden by doing better crop planning. And in his book that I have, I didn't realize in the appendix he actually has an example crop planning guide that I could have basically copied, and for at least for the crops that I'm growing, because he does 1.5 acres and I'm on way less than that. So I could have just picked the crops that I wanted to grow for each week and done that. So I'm already planning for next year. I'm making my list of when things go into the ground, when to expect to harvest them, and what will be planted immediately after. So it'll take all the guesswork out of it and just allow me to farm based on his experience in his book, that he has like 20 years of farming experience. So that's what I'm gonna do for next year. But yeah, I just wanted to do a quick walk around the farm before we harvest everything for tomorrow's market, which I probably won't do right now because of this thing. He's so heavy now that I lean too much one way and I almost fall over. That happened earlier already today when I was feeding the chickens. He's pretty heavy. So yeah, that's gonna wrap up this video. Just a quick walk around the farm, talking about what to expect for this week's market and the rest of the season. Yeah, and that'll wrap up this video. So thanks for watching. Subscribe to our channel if you're new here. I'd really appreciate it. I'm really trying to get to 1,000 subscribers, like I mentioned in the last video, before the end of this year. So if you subscribe, that would help us get there. I'd really appreciate it. You want to add anything else, buddy? Okay. We'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.